Good morning. Welcome to day 3 of EuroSTAR here in Edinburgh. And we are joined by a really big name from Indian test community, Geosley Andrades. I'd like to think he's now a global star. So thank you, Geosley, for talking to us today.
Thank you.
Geosley, a little bit of an introduction about yourself, please, for the audience, if
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah, thank you for having me here at the podcast. I'm enjoying it here at EuroSTAR. Quick introduction of me. I'm a senior director, evangelist at ACCELQ. I also lead the global community for Test Automation Enthusiast called QCommunity. Been into the testing space for now 17 plus years. Been testing all the time, right? Been at Infosys, JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, all of the organizations, and now have happily leading the go-to-market strategy at ACCELQ. So yeah.
Fantastic. Gosh. Geosley, what was your talk for EuroSTAR this year? What was it about,
Yeah.
please?
So my talk was basically I Spy with AI, visual testing with the switch, with a twist, right? So it's been an interesting talk. The reason I chose this is basically the essence of we trying to avoid visual testing in our testing cycle. So
Yes.
that was something I wanted to educate, and then the concept of the talk was more towards how easy it is to do visual testing now that the AI wave is spinning up.
Yep.
How easy you can use agents to do visual testing for you, and how easy it is for AI to decipher out the visual differences with computer vision and CNN in the backend. Yeah.
Fantastic. Would you call yourself an active promoter of AI in quality engineering and testing?
I would not say an active promoter, but I think any change that happens in the industry is something you need to explore.
Yep.
You need to embrace,
Yes.
and you need to explore, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
anything that comes into the the community is something that you kind of have to try yourself, right?
Yep.
So I do not always follow a practice to listen to what others think, right? So
Yes.
until I actually go and practice it myself.
Yes.
Right. So from an AI standpoint, yes, it's about experiencing it. It's about learning from it, and then
Yep.
figuring out, how useful it is for you, and
Amazing.
does it really impact in your context, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not about fitting AI everywhere,
Yes.
right? You need to know whether it's context aware,
Yep.
whether it is doing the right things for you.
Absolutely.
So based on that, I would say, it's something that we need to embrace as a technology. It's something that you need to see how it can help you do things faster for you, right? So if you look at the traditional things of how we used to do, even building a website, right? So we used to use HTML and CSS selectors, and then we have moved on to WordPress and things like that, which is making it easy for you to build a website or web pages, right? So
Absolutely.
why to stop using technology if it's helping you in
Why
some
not?
extent and giving you more space to do real testing? So
Amazing,
yeah,
amazing.
that's, the concept, yeah.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you, Josley. I've seen you speak about so many varied topics.
Yeah.
Have you always been like a hardcore techie? Is that always been
Yeah.
your
So
thing?
so testing was basically something which came by accident. Like
Okay.
my story dates back to starting as I started, unfortunately during the recession period when things were tough
Yes.
to get going.
Fair enough.
I started as a developer, by the way, and then. Then I was put into testing because
Nice.
of the change in the
Market.
requirements
Yeah.
in the company I was in.
Yep.
And then when you look at testing, I really love to code
Nice one.
all the time, and that's the best part. To be closer to testing was test automation when I started. So
Fantastic.
that's when I started having an interest in building frameworks. So
Superb.
been building frameworks for now last 15 years.
Wow.
Right, and then every technology or every framework that comes in
Yes.
is something I love to explore.
Excellent.
Right, and makes me closer to code.
Super.
And it was a time when anything can be done with a human can also be done automatically.
Fair enough,
So
yep.
an objective was always to make life easy for me, because I
Yep.
personally didn't like a regressive way of testing,
Yes.
doing things repeatedly over and over again.
Absolutely.
Times gets overwhelming, right, and boring at times as well.
True.
So that's where I thought, automation is like a key aspect where you could just get rid of all the regressive testing that you do, and
Yes.
then do some, actual testing with, with your mind and thoughts. So yeah, that's where
Superb.
intentionally is where I wanted to be closer to coding.
Yes.
I moved on. The other aspect is, I was so good at the coding space that I eventually got to got promoted to an engineering manager at one point of time where I had to handle a team of .NET developers. But then the skill set of testing and the inquisitiveness, getting deep into the architecture as we as testers get,
Yes.
gave me an opportunity to easily, crack that role of an engineering manager where I
Fabulous.
could manage a team of .NET developers, right? And in fact, I was very happy that prior to being here at ACCELQ, I actually did a lift and shift project in AWS.
Yes.
So I also have an AWS architect certificate, right? So these are things which kind of interest me, and I
Amazing.
still continue to do this, and I enjoy being close to technology.
Wonderful. That's so good to know. You're also a very active member of the test community. You speak in conferences and all of that. When did that start?
So it started as, I think it just 4 or 5 years back. I never knew what community is actually. After 10 or 11 years of experience in testing,
Yes.
I joined started being active in the community. I was very happy to see all the networking that happens, right? The speaking thing was just like a trial. I started with a meetup where I was invited.
Yeah.
I usually don't go for community meetups as such because I like to spend my weekends with my family, and I'm usually a person who likes to relax when not working. But yeah, meetup was something where it all kick-started, where I actually presented a topic and then it was received well. So I thought, I'm doing this really well in my organization, so why not share that outside of my organization?
Absolutely.
And during the meetup, I realized, hey, there are people outside your organization who actually also need and can get something from your learning. So that's when I kind of started. I started slowly, started small in meetups, and then eventually went on to get into international speaking and stuff. In fact, EuroSTAR was way back 3 years back. EuroSTAR was the first international conference where I got an opportunity. I heard of it being very difficult to get through a fabulous international conference like EuroSTAR.
Yes.
I would consider I was lucky at that point of time where my first talk was at EuroSTAR.
Wonderful.
It's been amazing. I think people are welcoming in this community,
Yes.
and I think our testing community is very supportive for everyone. So keep sharing, I would say, and then it's not difficult. If I'm here at stage speaking, I think all of us can always be a speaker at any point of time.
Great
Just share your
message,
experiences, share what you know the best.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
that's an experience to cherish.
Brilliant. May I tell you, Geosley, because I've heard you a few times on virtual conferences, you're a tremendous storyteller. I think you have a great way of presentation. Where do you usually find your inspiration for topics to present and things like? Is it out of what you practice every day, or do you read, or where do you look for your inspiration typically?
So I personally try to put myself in the audience shoes, right? So I'm normally a visual person. I like things very visually appealing, right? So anytime I personally see slides or presentations with too much of information, I as well get overwhelmed. So my idea is always to cater to a different set of audience. So whenever I structure my talk, a strategy I've always followed is to cater to different set of audience. You may have someone who's a beginner in the topic, you may have someone who is an intermediate, and then you may have someone who's an expert. Now the challenge always lies is you get like 30 minutes for a talk or you get 20 minutes for a talk. Now how do you impress all of these audience? So that's always in my mind. Right? So for a beginner, they would want something like a basics of what, like specifically my topic like visual testing. What is visual testing? Or what are the benefits? What are the challenges with it? An intermediate person may want, what are the various ways of how you could execute this? An expert would want like, hey, how is AI solving it? How can I use agents to build this stuff? How can I have how I can do it effectively in a pipeline, right? So when I structure a talk, I make sure that I'm catering to all of this audience. Again, it's very important to study who your audience are, what's the theme of the conference, and who your audience is. Based on that, you need to structure. So if it's an audience like EuroSTAR, where you have testers, they would want a lot of context when it comes to testing and structuring in that fashion, because if it's a developer conference, you want to make it a little more technical in terms of how it will help developers, right? So depending on the audience, you structure a talk, and then I try to keep my content very smooth flowing, so that it's easier to digest. And I have a lot of images because I feel that if you have a strong image in a presentation, it has a lasting impact for a long time. So I try to keep a balance
Wonderful.
and try to virtualize in my presentations.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it develops with experience and
Yeah,
get going.
yeah. Oh gosh, and you put so much thought and effort into every talk it appears, and we are
you.
so privileged
Thank
to
you.
have this here. Josley, I know people typically have role models and inspiration and people you look up to, etc. Have you had anybody that you've always followed and admired?
So Dorothy Graham, I think, is
Oh my
here
goodness, yes.
on stage. I've been following her all the while. I've been reading her work.
Yes.
I was also happy that she was there for my talk.
Yes.
So I'm happy to get her support all the time. So this was she was someone I looked up to. I've been following her, guiding me, and yeah. I mean, I feel fortunate to see her at every EuroSTAR conference.
Wonderful,
I saw her last
wonderful.
year at AutomationSTAR. I saw her this week
Amazing.
at EuroSTAR. So the energy is infectious.
Yes.
I feel, and when you meet a mentor in person,
Yes.
that makes it even more special. And that's why I enjoy EuroSTAR, because I always get to meet some of my mentors
Yes.
like Dot Graham. I've also been inspired by a lot of other people in the Indian testing community. Ajay Balmurugadas
Yes.
has been quite a mentor. I think he was the person who kind of gave me a breakthrough in speaking, basically.
Amazing.
Right, so I joined the testing community there in India, and then it was Ajay who kind of motivated me. Hey, you have that capability to speak at conferences.
Wonderful.
So yes, you need someone to trigger you
Yes,
and
yes.
get that going. So I remember my first conference was TestCon in Mumbai, where it kind of Ajay said, hey, I think you have done a meetup talk. You should do a conference talk as well. I mean,
Nice one.
it's the same thing. Yeah, and my first talk, I actually blanked out for 2 minutes. I didn't know, is it really happening? But yeah, these are mentors who are special. They, guide you from the back end. If you make a mistake, they're always there
absolutely.
to, pitch you in. So
Yep, yep.
even if I make a mistake, if I, goof up on social media or in some of the talks, and even if I goof up in this interview, they will be there to guide me, saying, hey, this was not the correct thing. So it's good to have mentors. It's good to have your board of directors, I call them.
Oh,
So I
amazing.
have a lot of people as my board of directors.
Amazing.
I have Mahesh, I have Balaji, and lots of other folks in my board of directors who are always there for me with any crazy idea or anything that I do. So it's good to have that people in the community who kind of guide you and get going.
Gosh, I fully agree with that. And you're talking to a Dot Graham fan as well. I'm a huge follower of her work, and Dot's guided so many people. And Ajay's name was mentioned by Rahul Parwal, we spoke to yesterday.
yeah.
So yeah, I know. Honestly, we are so privileged in the world of testing to have such guiding stars, if you like. So fantastic, Geosley. So just for coming back to yourself. What are your kind of plans for yourself in the next short to medium term? Where do you see yourself going?
Yeah. So I have always been a tester by heart. I love being close to the testing community. I'm now moved and transitioned into product marketing role here at ACCELQ. And the reason this was new to me, however, I felt if it's related to testing, if there's a product which kind of has some association with testing and testing technology is something I want to be always associated with, because been into this space for quite a long time, building frameworks for like 15 plus years now. Started with a lot of open source tools, transitioned to different technologies. So this is something I feel I have a good command in. I have a good access to use my capabilities. So even if I am in a product marketing role today with ACCELQ, I still know what I'm marketing. I still know what's the pain point a tester faces, because I have lived it. I have been there, right? I know what the challenges are. So it's very good when you associate your next ambitions into being and what you're good at, right? So you know what you're talking. So I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. Going down the lane, it is something that I like to do something challenging. I don't like to do something repetitive. So anything that comes my way which is challenging, helps me get going, I'll definitely want to continue doing that, and definitely want to make sure that I have somewhere an association to testing, so that chord has to be there for me to get going, right?
That's so good to hear. And the other thing that really impresses me about you, Geosley, is you're an innovator and you're genuinely kind of into technology as such. Um, if people wanted to follow your work, because you're constantly onto something, do you have a website of your own, or where can people follow your
Yeah, I have
workplace?
a website, Geosley at blogpost.com, but I do a lot of knowledge sharing on LinkedIn.
Nice one.
I have a YouTube video channel as
Super.
well. Yeah, most of them goes by the handle of Geosley.
Okay.
So it's easy to find me.
Super.
I think I'm the only one in the world, so with the name Geosley. So it's very easy to find me around, right?
Nice one.
Yeah, I like sharing. The most important thing is whenever you share information, always remember to do it for yourself, right?
Yes.
Don't do it for the likes. Don't do it like for the followers.
Yes.
I feel so organically you can grow really,
Yes.
really well,
Amazing.
and share it like in any medium you want. Like
Yes.
some of you, may not be good at recording a video. Some of them may be video shy.
Yep, yep.
But you can still continue to blog. You can still continue to post, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you can share your information in different mediums. You don't have to be, a jack of all trades. So
Nice one.
choose what you like, choose what you enjoy doing, and do it for yourself, not
Yes.
to impress others. And you won't realize that I have been. So if you go to my blog post, it's very interesting. It's not actually a blog post.
Okay.
They are all visual images
Okay.
to explain a particular aspect in
Yes.
a pictorial format.
Okay,
So
okay.
if you go to a blog post, you'll see all images. It's just a one pager which
Yeah.
explains the topic in a very attractive and a visual manner.
Wonderful.
So I've stuck to what I enjoy.
Yes.
For me, I've been a graphic designer in the past, and that's what removes my stress out. So I do things which I enjoy, and then sharing is just a moment, a part of it, right? Because I enjoy building all this visual graphics. So that puts me away from the stress.
Yes.
And that's what I enjoy. So do what you enjoy and add it to your personal branding, and there's no taking you away from there.
Gosh, amazing. Honestly, I'm so inspired by you, Geosley. You're an innovator, you're a creative, kind of genius, so many facets to you. I genuinely believe you're a fantastic role model for the upcoming kind of wave of testers and the young techies out there. Is there a word of advice you'd like to give them, I don't know, career-wise, or anything you'd like to encourage people, knowing where the tech world is headed,
Right.
AI and whatnot? What do you think they should consider doing, maybe skills-wise, or I don't know, something else that they
Yeah.
should develop in themselves?
So, the social media is, very hard. You get deflected away by a lot of things, right? Now it's the AI wave. Earlier we had the blockchain.
Yep.
Before we had automation.
Yes.
So, it kind of gets overwhelming. When people want to jump into things, again, what we need to understand is knowing something is good, but
Yes.
it's not like the end of the thing,
Yes.
right? So approach with caution, I would say.
Yes.
Right, and then don't believe anyone is
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
followed, right?
yeah.
Learn yourself, right? Learn the technology,
Yes.
see if it fits you.
Yes.
For a tester as such, for us as testers, one thing you need to understand, and that's what a mistake I made in the past. I've been always very close to code, so I directly jumped into, getting into building frameworks, test automation, and things like that. But an advice would be for someone who's starting off to first understand what real testing is,
Yes.
how it is actually done. Because unless and until you don't understand this, you will not know how to apply these concepts to technology.
Yep, yep.
So understanding the concepts is important. Keep learning. So one thing I have always put as a practice, and I've learned from my mentors, is there will be a 9 to 6 job that you are always doing, but spend some time selflessly for your upskilling.
Nice one.
So I do spend every day on myself, which is something which is outside of what I'm working on.
Wonderful.
And that gives you that skill set, and that's why I'm able to talk about topics which interest the audience, right? So spend time on learning things outside of your work, which will give you things, and it's a compounding effect, because every day if you spend an hour, just imagine when it goes to an year-long computation, it's really, really huge. So it's like a building effect. So spend time for yourself. At least give yourself an hour to learn or meditate. It's always good to reflect yourself, what you have done during the day,
Yes.
how you can improve better. So even the self-reflection mode is very critical and will help you grow a little bit. And the last point is more towards see yourself at a particular stage. Keep dreaming about it. I'm a very big fan of Disney and stuff, so I like that quote of dream it, do it. So you keep dreaming about something, you try to put it as a North Star goal. Right? Okay, hey, I want to be a speaker at EuroSTAR, right? And then you kind of work towards it. So it kind of, once you have that goal running in your mind, you always work towards that.
Yes.
So keep dreaming, I would say, and then achieve your goals. And nothing is impossible, I would say. So this has worked for me. I have dreamt being at the EuroSTAR stage once. I have dreamt to be at it again, and I'm so happy that these teams are coming to reality. So put that effort. I think there is nothing rocket science. You don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to be a testing expert to be on stage. So dream about it, and things will come to reality. So and plan for it. It's not something that you can get very instantly. Take smaller goals. Try to put yourself a target of hey, what's my 1 month target? Let's say you want to be a Scrum Master in the future, right? So you can probably say, okay, what are things I need to do in the first 1 month? Maybe learning about the Scrum technology, then connecting to experts in the Scrum Master industry. So that's how you can progress and achieve your goal. Then applying for jobs which are Scrum Master roles. Right? So you have to strategize based on what you see yourself at in probably 3 years, 5 years, and then work towards it.
Nice one, nice one. I love this. Really, that visualization is so important. And being purposeful in how you do everything that will lead you up to that dream is such an important
you should visualize yourself. I kind of also, since I'm a visual person, I have a photo where I put myself in that position and then put it in front of my working desk, and every day I see it, I kind of think, okay, hey, I need to be here, I need to be here. And it kind of works through your mind. And I feel there is all the positive energy that comes in, and you kind of get it at one point of time.
Amazing, amazing. Honestly, it's been so wonderful talking to you, Geosley. A final parting question. What do you do for fun? I know we've spoken loads about work. What's your chill thing to do?
Yeah, some of them may not know this, but I apply to be a speaker because I love to travel.
Oh,
I love
wonderful,
to,
wonderful.
Be at industries, and speaking is the only way for me, or the only channel for me to visit a lot of places.
Nice one.
I'm happy, that there is a passion which is kind of aligning to my my interest, right? So being here at Edinburgh, it's my first time here at Edinburgh, and the only way I could do that was apply at EuroSTAR, get a speaking slot, and then have things going. So I love to travel. That's something which energizes me, because I feel culture, understanding different cultures is a very good thing.
Wonderful.
And of course, when your job, when you want to get out of your job, you have a different environment. It always is a killer. So I'm loving it because as a part of my job, I get to travel around, I get to mingle with people, I get to understand different cultures. And I know that for folks as well in India, it's good like to experience people around, right? So I always ask this question to myself, right? How many testers I know outside of my organization?
Wonderful.
So that's that kind of interests me, in reaching out to different people here. So being at EuroSTAR, meeting you, talking to you, meeting all people, all different testers, hearing their experiences, learning from them, always charges me. So when not working, it's traveling. I love traveling, and when it joins with work, I think it's even more spectacular.
Amazing.
And then I personally like to, get creative. So I always spend my time, making some digital designs. So you'll always, my second favorite tool after a testing tool would be a Canva or a Photoshop, where I kind of love to do a lot of digital designing and things which kind of trigger me off and make me stress free.
Amazing. It's been brilliant talking to you, Geosley, and I have a lot of things to take away from this conversation. I hope everybody watching this has too. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
It was great.
Pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.